So the big news here in St. Louis is Scott Rolen was in the Hall of Fame. I'm sure you're a Hall of Fame voter, and I guess you could tell me if you voted for him.
No, I did not. I probably would have voted for him next year. I did a lot of probably more research on whether to vote for him or not than any candidate I can remember for a long time. And I just thought he was a outstanding player, very, very good player. I think the two things that bothered me was just the hits, just barely over 2,000, and the fact that he only finished once in his career in the top 13 in the MVP race. But exceptional teammate, player, and I'm very, very, very happy for him.
I don't know if you were on some of the Zooms that night, but I forgot to ask the question, will he go in as a Cardinal? He played with 4 different teams, and obviously his best success was here. Do you know anything about that?
I'll be surprised if he did. I bet he doesn't go in with any cap insignia. Remember Tony La Russa didn't. Greg Maddux didn't. It's becoming a lot more common. So I bet he doesn't have I bet he doesn't go in with one particular team.
And I'm not privy to this, but I assumed it that night because every guy who spent a good chunk of time in St. Louis that got into the Hall of Fame has a statue outside Busch Stadium. Now, Larry Walker was only here for a cup of coffee, but I imagine the Cardinals would have to continue that tradition. I don't know. Maybe it hurts his case if he doesn't go in as a Cardinal, though.
Yeah, I don't know if he would. He played for 4 different franchises, and he was on the Zoom calls later on with media representatives from all 4 franchises, which is very rare in today's game. Hall of Famers usually do a press conference, and that's it. But yeah, I don't know if the Cardinals would do that just because you think of Rolen, you think of him with other franchises as well, particularly Philadelphia.
Yep. All right. Couple of other quick non-hardcore baseball conversation thoughts. Chip Caray is going to become our new TV lead voice. Your impressions of Chip, and should we feel fortunate in St. Louis?
Oh, absolutely. This guy is a exceptional broadcaster. When I heard his name, mentioned months ago, I said, "Man, would he leave Atlanta? If he left Atlanta, he's a natural guy." So no, he's a funny guy, hilarious, off the air, great dry sense of humor. He's great at his job. Cardinal fans are going to absolutely love this guy.
And it does say something about the magnitude of Cardinal television broadcast when you'd leave a market which is quite smaller than Atlanta to come to St. Louis.
Oh, absolutely. You're talking about leaving a market too with the team winning 5 straight division titles, a perennial power. They do, homegrown players. Everybody wants to play in for Atlanta these days. But yeah, for him to leave that job, it's not a promotion like you said. It might be even a step down. Really tells you how much he thinks of of St. Louis.
Yeah, and also the fact that Bally Sports Midwest Cardinal broadcast are either 1 or 2 every year in terms of ratings. So, I don't think people in Atlanta, their lives revolve around Braves baseball like they do in St. Louis. Would you agree?
Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's a city in the country where outside St. Louis that you can say that about. No, Atlanta loves their sports as well. They do draw greats and everything else, but yeah, there's no baseball city like St. Louis.
Okay, Bob, the nature of talk radio is negative, but I would just say that if you were to poll the average St. Louisan on, if you ask this question, did the Cardinals do enough this offseason? And the answer would be no. That would be, in fact, it'd be by a healthy percentage, I think. What do you think of the Cardinals' offseason work? They're better than the Cubs and Brewers, but they're probably the 5th or 6th best team in the National League as we speak right now.
Yeah, I would certainly not disagree with that. You thought they'd do more than, you're going to get a catcher anyway to replace Yadi Molina. So, that was natural. And to, really stick with what they had. Yeah, don't blame, Cardinal fans for being, on edge a little bit. The Cubs just spent over $300 million in the offseason. They're certainly going to be better, and they're going to be competitive. I'm not saying they're going to be the favorite to win the division, but I think they'll hang in the race all year. Milwaukee didn't do much either. The Cardinals are fortunate they're in the NL Central, just a division that doesn't spend that much money, just like the AL Central. But, if you're in the NL West or NL East, they might have a hard time making the playoffs.
All right, let me give you this scenario, and it's not that far-fetched because these guys are young and in their prime. If Jack Flaherty returns to his 2019 form, if Tyler O'Neill returns to his 2021 form, and you get either Nootbaar or Dylan Carlson playing great baseball, could this be a world champion?
It could be. I mean, everything would have to go right. I mean, you really need Flaherty to be the Jack Flaherty of a few years ago, almost a Cy Young winner. You need Adam Wainwright to stay healthy and still be that stud. Everybody's going to have Goldschmidt and Arenado are going to have to repeat those kind of seasons where you finish 1-2, 1-3 in the MVP race. So a lot of things are going to have to go right. But if you just look on paper right now, I mean, in the NL East, would you match them up against the Mets, the Phillies, or Atlanta? Probably not. You need to go out west. You talk about the Dodgers and the Padres. So it's going to be an uphill climb. Make the playoffs. They'll still be a slight favorite to win the division. But I don't think anyone's saying, okay, this is a team that's going to get to the World Series.
Of the 5 in the Cardinals starting rotation as we speak, and Dakota Hudson's actually 6, Steven Matz is the only one who's signed for the following season. Don't you think it makes a whole lot of sense, because he lives in Jupiter and he's been a good Cardinal, to lock up Miles Mikolas?
Yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot of guys out there in free agency, next year. So, the Cardinals have always been cautious about that. People love, playing for St. Louis. They have advantage there. So I would think to at least look into it. If you're Miles yourself, it's like, wait a minute now. The free agent market's going to be, thin next year. And there's a few studs, obviously. I mean, Scherzer can opt out of his contract. Shohei Ohtani will be a free agent. But he may say, you know what? I saw how much money was made in free agency this winter. Let me see what's in the market for me next winter.
There's an overwhelming percentage of people who think that Paul DeJong is finished. It's back-to-back 2 brutal years. But this offseason, he's tried to have his swing mimic Paul Goldschmidt, and he gave Derek Gould this quote: "Whenever I had my leg kick, it was like I was up in the air and I'm floating, and that's not a great position to be in." So he's revamped everything. Are there examples of guys that are basically dead for 2 years and come back and been productive?
Absolutely. Matt Carpenter.
Oh, great thought. Yeah.
No one thought he was going to do that. Bounce around. The Rangers didn't want him, want to bring him up. Yankees gave him a shot, and then boom. Now he's a Padre. But yeah, you see examples like that where people give up on guys, just like Matt Carpenter couldn't get a job in the major leagues, and then he worked his swing real hard as well. So you never know.
Boy, it would make for an awfully crowded middle infield. Let's just say, because of the World Baseball Classic, DeJong gets a lot of at-bats. Edman's going to be gone, and he plays unbelievable, and Paul DeJong's your opening day shortstop. Then at second base, you want Tommy Edman there, but Nolan Gorman could hit 30 home runs in the league, and then there's Brendan Donovan with his 400 on-base percentage. It's a pleasant problem to have if DeJong were to really thrive.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Great problem to have. I mean, if you wanted to, if someone, leave him enough, you move a guy like that for for a starting pitcher, outfielder, whatever you want. But yeah, no, I mean, the Cardinals will love to have that kind of problem on opening day.
I don't know if you've seen Jordan Walker in person. I know you spend time in Arizona where the Fall League is. But like the Braves have shown an inkling to, hey, if you're a really good player, we don't care your age. We're going to trot you out there and you're going to go. Evident Michael Harris. What do you think's going to happen with Jordan Walker, and what are scouts and what are you seeing with him?
Yeah, I have not seen him play, but I know scouts are very high on him. I think he certainly has a chance to be an impact player. I mean, Atlanta does a phenomenal job. The Dodgers do a phenomenal job of developing those guys, and I think the Cardinals will be cautious with him in the sense that, you don't want to break a guy's spirit. You see so many guys that, break in and then struggle right away. And you hate to send them back down just, to affect their confidence. But certainly, when you talk to scouts who, watch other minor leagues and things like that, they certainly have a very high opinion of him.
Give me the latest info on the 3 previous Cardinal managers. You're so well connected with everybody. What's Mike Matheny going to do? What is Mike Shildt doing? And what about Tony La Russa's next move, if there is one?
Yeah, I don't think there'll be a next move with Tony La Russa. I mean, I think he'll be a special assistant, in the White Sox office, that sort of thing. He's going to be involved in baseball, until he dies. I mean, he's never just going to step away completely from the game. He loves it too much. Mike Shildt, knocking the door for a managerial job. I was surprised he didn't get, more opportunities this winter. And I think he will. I mean, he's going to be back with the Padres, working with them again. So, like a special quality type of coach and help out in the farm system. I think he'll get another shot. Mike Matheny, I think he's still getting paid, I believe.
Yes, one more year.
Yeah, and I'm not sure about that. I mean, it's pretty tough to get 3 different chances. So I would think if Mike could be in someone's front office one day, or if he wants to be on someone's coaching staff, but it's tough to get 3 shots.
And then a final thought, how will the World Baseball Classic affect spring training? And it seems like there's more like sizzle behind this World Baseball Classic than anyone we've ever had.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, managers have already told the MLB office, hey, don't expect us to have 5 regulars when we travel to games or have it. Our guys are gone. Los Angeles Angels have 15 guys gone. Talked to Buck Showalter this morning. His entire infield is gone. So it's tough for fans because you're not going to see your favorite players. I mean, you go down to Jupiter, you're not going to be seeing, Wainwright and Goldschmidt, Arenado, and things like that. So it's tough for fans. I mean, fun to go watch the games. You want to see the young guys, but you're not going to see, the star players, particularly if, teams like the Team USA and Dominican and Japan go far. You may not see those guys until the very end of spring.
Oh, one more. With the shift rule now in place, eliminating that, do you think we're going to have more runs and higher batting averages and on-base percentages?
I don't know about that because in the minor leagues, it made very little difference. I mean, how many times you watch a game was a routine ball and there's nobody covering, at the second base or shortstop. So I think it might make a little bit difference. I think the rule to watch would be the pickoff move where you're only allowed to throw over twice. If you throw over a third time and you're not successful, it's an automatic balk. So I would think that should favor the athletic teams and see some more stolen bases, which puts guys in scoring positions. There should be more runs. I think that one will have a bigger impact.
Great to hear your voice, Bob. Appreciate it. I hope to see you in spring training. Thank you, sir.
All right, look forward to it. Thanks, Frank.
All right, that's the one and only Bob Nightengale. We'll take a short time out.